Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 4 of the Rising Major League. We are here tonight to watch Central Michigan University versus um, DNA. And this is going to be the week 4 matchup between the top place team, DNA, and CMU, who is also at a record of 1-2 just behind them. This could decide the top of the standings here this week. I am your color caster, Lombax Pieboy, and this week I'm joined by Rukter as the play-by-play. How are you, buddy?
I'm fantastic for this week 4 game. As we said, we've now sort of like coming to the end of the round robin, and we have casted both of these teams before. We do sort of know the matchups and teams a little bit there. Really looking out for King Georgie at that ADC lane as well, also favouring that Tarek. We do have a Yasuo ban against Niles, who does favour that Echo, and Yasuo is that aggressive player in that mid lane. Itzamuda, we saw a fantastic Azir coming out of him, even though they did actually lose that game. We really liked the play and the mechanical prowess that he had. Pride as well, a solid top laner, having a very large lead as Shen as one of the games that we casted previously.
Yes, and I expect Echo as well to be a contentious pick here, as both Itzamuda and Niles have a fair few games on him, performing to a pretty high level. Caitlyn is the first ban out of DNA. And why don't we actually start by introing the players here, as we got straight into Champion Select, had no real time. On the blue side, we do have Central Michigan University coming in with Prine in the top lane, Drew coming from the jungle, Itzamuda in the mid lane, Mfel and Kisaru in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and for DNA, we have Suit Up Bro in the top lane, Kind jungle in the jungle, Niles mid, King Georgie bottom, and lane support.
All right. Aatrox, pretty interesting band there as well. Not one that you see typically, but if you do know the champion, there's no real like bad matchups in the same sense, and Suit Up Bro has quite a few games on him with 152.
Yeah, a little bit of a pocket pick there with the Aatrox. Also, Banyap bomber against King Georgie. We have seen him play that previously. Solid player on that one. They are fairly high end here, so we will be looking for some of these picks. Also, Suit Up Bro, I think he's played a little bit of Jarvan, so maybe picking that up as well in the top lane is a little bit more of that bruiser engage type.
And I'm sort of interested to see, as this pick a man phase and series goes on, how much Worlds is going to affect the picks here, as we are a couple patches forward from that, but there has been quite an evolution in the pick ban phase from the teams there. As Xin Zhao, the first lock-in for Central Michigan University.
Yeah, Zinzao probably won't get played up in Worlds, but that's going to get matched up for the Zaya and Rakan. The double whammy into the bot lane for King Georgie and Lane.
And that's one that we do see definitely at Worlds as one of the priority picks, because you have such a lane dominant matchup there into pretty much anything. You get the Arden procs as well from Rakan, which still is quite good on this patch, and it's matched with the Lulu, so that there's an Arden on Central Michigan University as well.
Yeah, as soon as you finish that Essence review, you have just fantastic wave clear at your disposal for the Zaya. Rakan with that engage potential, particularly in the late game, having that reliable engage on your team is unstoppable when you have the damage behind it.
Tristana is still available, but they opt for the Echo instead here, so they can have their AD carry pool pinched in the second phase if DNA chooses to ban for it.
Yeah, so we see Jarvan potentially being hovered. That will probably get locked in there. Now this gives the ability for DNA to heavily ban out the AD carries right now.
Top lane matchups are still available, though. You might want to think about that, as both the Aatrox and Yasuo, which is a potential top laner, have already been banned away.
Yeah, Gnar and Fiora are both contentious picks for these two teams, so maybe we'll see one of those. Twitch having been the selected pan for DNA, so they are going for that bot lane focus right now.
Yeah, and the counter pick in the mid lane is available for DNA, so CMU might actually opt to ban away a couple of the poor matchups on Echo's side.
Yeah, well, what do you think those sort of poor matchups are? Something that has a solid sort of wave clear and a little bit of mobility to back that up?
Actually, the first one they banned, in my opinion, they did that in the first phase, was the
Yes, yeah.
Yasuo, as I think that's a pretty good matchup. You can block the passive proc fairly easily and then get away from that. Other wave clear mid laners can definitely play well into Echo. Things like the Orion.
Callista is available for MFL. Not sure he's necessarily known for this champion, but with so many ADCs off the table right now, with 5 being removed from the equation, that might sort of be what he's left with. Also, Vayne available if he wants to go that route.
Against Rakan Jarvan, I don't know if you really want to opt into that vein. But they do ban away the Victor as one of those other picks I was thinking of there who can really match the wave clear and stop
Yeah.
Echo from being able to roam. Oh, last second switch there to Jace. That's pretty different from the Maokai they were originally hovering there, going instead for a carry top laner or potentially mid.
Yeah, it's definitely put Kind Jungle on that engage tank option. And with Rakan there, they aren't short on engage options, so they can really follow up on any poke damage that Suit Up Bro is able to provide for their team.
Yeah, and in the game as well, you do have the option to go straight for that lethality. Something we've seen at Worlds, though, specifically by Huni when he plays Jace, is that he opts for the tier build so that he has a little bit more scaling. And personally, I actually like that a lot more as, yes, you have a little bit weaker early game, but once you start getting to those later stages of the game, you can actually participate with your team and use more than one spell rotation.
Yeah, MFL electing for that Guinsoo's Rageblade Varus build that is very popular, has a really early power spike as well. Gonna be supported by that Galio, probably in the top lane, play by Prime.
And that will not
Oh, I want to see
necessarily...
this Carthus. It's not gonna happen, Lombax, but that would be fantastic to see.
Might be the Azir instead. That is another sort of wave clear mid. He has had his ranges tuned down recently. Talia is another one as well. It is going to be Talia in the end. We do see the full team comps here now.
Or
So this is going to be a pretty heavy team fight focus from both teams. Scaling AD carry in the bottom lane for both of them. A little bit more lane priority on the side of DNA. Mid lane is going to be a clear lane, as it actually looks like it might be the Galio in the mid instead of the Echo, which might go into top against Jace. Prime does have that Echo tag.
yeah, maybe I kind of like Central Michigan University here for the comp right now. This depends whether or not King Georgie and Lane can really set down some purchase in the bottom side of the map and have Niles be able to roam to that as well. Probably we will see Suit Up Bro have a little bit of pressure up against Prime in the top lane, who will secure that Echo for himself.
I'm curious on
But
the Xin Zhao pick, though, as we haven't really seen it much played by these teams. I know that he is significantly stronger than he used to be with the changes to his kit, but seeing it at this level is different from playing against it in solo queue. So Drew is going to have to be efficient on that pick, and if he can be, I think that Xin Zhao does have the potential to carry the game for CMU.
yeah, you can potentially go for that Warrior and Triforce build and have Prime or Samuda on this Galio, being able to support him, provide that defense, and just add that extra engage stall means that Prime can be very selective with the engagements. Tank Echo used to be a bit of a thing, but I think that with the Galio, they do want that extra damage, so he will be going more of that damage build.
You can go for more of a tankier build in the top lane, though, something like the Rod of Ages Proto Belt. Get a little bit more health for you so that you can take longer fights against the Jace. I don't know how this matchup will go in the early game, actually, as I think Jace will probably have the priority just with how much burst he has in the early levels. But once Echo starts getting items, he should be able to match up pretty well against him in the split push.
Yeah, also getting levels into that time twister, just being able to wave clear the waves, you really do just have a little bit of an easier matchup. But in the early stages of the game, Suit Up Bro would be favored for this lane, so it enables Kind Jungle to potentially play around that. So Xin Zhao, known for being a good duelist, so Zhu will have potential to also look for this. Potentially, it's going to be very balanced. Talir can certainly put on the pressure onto Galio early game, but once Galio gets a little bit more wave clear at his disposal, that can be a fairly even matchup as well.
And I do really want to see CMU making these aggressive plays in the early game, especially once Galio hits level 6. You can look for these more aggressive dives as he has the ability to clear the wave, roam to a side lane, and use his ultimate to give those extra tanky stats and facilitate dives, which we've seen time and again at Worlds, put on display actually today by WE really well. If they can get the Varus ahead in the bottom lane, they'll secure their lead for the late game as well.
Also, if Sudapro has priority in the top lane, Izmuda can easily roam up there, get that convergence, and try and land a stun followed up with Izmuda, and that will be very impactful.
So, now that we have discussed the team comps here, which one are you preferring, Rukter?
If MFL and Kirusu can have a impact in the early game, then I think CMU would be my favorite pick. I'm hoping for a game 3 though, as DNA is a very strong team.
Personally, I actually think I favor the comp of DNA with the bottom lane of Xayah and Rakan, unless it gets significant focus from Drew and some roaming from the Galio. I think they will struggle significantly to take fights with them because they are so strong in that early game with the additional bonuses they get.
Yeah, exactly. Rakan and Xayah, very strong duo, and if they can really overtake the game and not get shut down, they can really surge forward in the later stages in these consolidated team fights. We are now looking to load into the Rift, so we're just going to change over right now. Looking forward to this game. This is week 4 of the RML Rising Summoners League. Casting with me on color is Romback, Spyboy, and I am Riptor. Looking forward to this game. Very excited. DNA versus CMU.
Yes. And let's make sure we pause at 5 seconds as well.
I did not realize Kisuru actually has a gold border. Clearly been, maybe that used to be a smurf, or maybe just excelled in the later stages of this season.
All right. Let's go in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Oh, I forgot to disable chat. Oops. There we go.
So we can sort that out. So for level 1 engagements, not many teams have a lot of engage, so I wouldn't have thought that they really look for something. Both teams are fanning out around the map, just looking to see if they can spot where the enemy are trying to look to place wards.
You do have the potential, if you'd wanted to go for it, you can take the taunt on Galio and level up the knockup for Xin Zhao, which is a little bit cheese, and you really need to catch people out for that.
Yeah, actually, Panjo gonna get slowed up.
Oh.
High Prime there has to flash early against that attack.
And that was an instant engage out of CMU. As soon as he stepped up to the bush, they didn't hesitate at all. They instantly were on top of him.
Yeah, the flag and dirt drag flash, just being able to reposition that knockup, very valuable, so that will alleviate some pressure in the early stages of the game here for Central Michigan University.
Alright.
Typically with these sensor supports, we have been seeing a little bit of Relic Shields, both electing to play a little bit more aggressive in the laning phase with Dorian's Blades, both of them. We also have a Corrupting Potion available to Sudapro, so he's just looking to sustain up, matched with the Dorian's Ring. Sometimes you can also go Corrupting Potion if you're planning to trade a little bit more heavily, but clearly just trying to CS with his abilities right now, probably just looking to stay relevant in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, and this is going to be a point of...
King Georgie looking for the knockup, gets it twice, and they're targeting MFL right now. He has to run away, denied from the lane there. They're going to have to go the long way around, and already a large chunk of damage onto MFL.
And that's an interesting one as well because they actually knew that they'd been set up in the bottom or in the tri bush there because they'd warded it and it had been killed by DNA, opting not to ward it again and just try and walk through it.
Yeah. Kind Jungle actually looking to play aggressive onto this blue buff as well. I mean, they do know about it. He doesn't have his flash available, so theoretically Prime can look to rotate down. He is now, but support is coming for Kind Jungle. It's actually smited away by Drew, so he's able to pick up this double buff right now. Now he has to run away as it's Zamuda not available, forcing the flash out of Drew.
Fighting the bottom lane as well as that was going on. Do not get any more summoners, but potions used, and this is exactly how you want the bottom lane to go for DNA. Get the early push, make sure that they get behind and scale up faster than them.
Yeah, exactly. This is a nice push in the bottom lane, actually, that they set up from that sort of camp bush of that tri-bush right there. Now they're pushing it into tower. Can they deny the CS under the tower to really push this lead into them? They are just looking to wave clear it and just harass the enemy.
And we are seeing some of this lane priority come into effect as well. And that was exactly what happened at that blue buff there. The one big difference was that Kind Jungle didn't actually have his smite to try and take it away, whereas Drew had still held on to his.
Yeah, actually managing to deny a little bit of CS on the bot lane, so that push by King Georgie definitely working out for them. Drew also looking to go a little bit aggressive onto Kind Jungle now, gets the flag and drag away as that was necessary. Find the bot lane, actually flashes away from the engagement of lane.
And that's 2 summoners down for MPhil. They knew that they could take that fight very briefly. Exactly what they wanted was just to get that summoner out, and they back off before Drew's actually able to come and respond.
Yes, Suit Up Bro also just trying to deny CS onto Prime. Prime doing a good job now. Might actually have to pop the conversion right here as they are looking to go aggressive. Suit Up Bro now taking a little bit of a chunk as well. Both top laners very susceptible to ganks. 2 pots available for the corrupting potion though, so Suit Up Bro can sustain.
And at this point, as long as he can just continue denying the recall from Prime with some poke, he's going to be at a huge advantage
looking
here.
To go in again, flashes for flash, and that will be first blood over to Suit Up Bro.
Bit of disrespect from Prime. He was playing too far up there. Zamuda going aggressive. Nothing going to come of it. Prime playing too far up against Suit Up Bro, who has both those corrupting pot charges, so he's going to A, be healthy, and as long as those are ticking, taking a fight with him is asking to die.
Yeah, certainly paying off with this early game and a knock up again onto Kuro, so he has to run away now, taking a lot of trade with the minions chasing him into the tower.
And this is
struggling for this game.
This is one of the issues with Lulu in the early game. She is one of the lowest health supports, so you do really need to make it through this until you get a couple items so that you can help your AD carry the game.
Yeah, they're actually only down a wave in the bottom lane, so MPhil is doing quite a sterling job just trying to CS under tower there.
And off that first recall as well, we can see Suit Up Bro has actually opted to go immediately for the lethality into what I'm assuming will be a Yomu's. So he's not opting for that tier build that is popular with Huni. He's just
Kind Jungle. Kind Jungle's looking to camp onto Prime here. He knows the flash is down. He's just gonna wait in the bush, maybe. This does give license, however, for Kind Jungle just to run around the top side of the map. So much vision there, but I don't think that they know Kind Jungle finally going to spot it out by that pink. He will be pinged, so Prime has to play very careful as the wave is literally just being denied against him. It will slowly push back to him though.
They are collapsing onto Kind Jungle though.
Yeah, slow comes out, flag and drag available. Nothing too much coming from that, but Prime just not able to get to the wave right now.
And you do really need to be careful at this point because Itzamuda is now level 6. He can easily get to one of these fights and take part and change it in their favor with the extra stats he can give with the hero's entrance.
Yeah, Weaver's Wall available as well, so both of these mid laners very versatile in their map movements if they choose to be.
Niles with a very slight CS advantage. This is pretty standard for a Galio lane. It's really hard to deny him with how tanky he is just with his baseline stats.
Yeah, Drew actually looking to maybe contest for this red buff, but Niles is just going to be there, so I don't think Drew really wants this.
There's wards all in this red side jungle as well, so they will know as soon as he leaves.
That respect flash coming out of Niles there certainly doesn't want any part of the action, as he's just looking to farm up minions under his tower.
Actually funny because it only popped up on the screen for the flash. It moved the camera down and then instantly away after he had just getting out of danger. And this is nice from the bottom lane of DNA. They have the wave pushing against them now, so they're really looking to deny MFL, who does now have his heal up. But for him to push up now, it is extremely difficult, as they can take a longer trade with them.
Yeah, DNA can look to just freeze the wave here if they choose to. King Georgie just sort of pushing it out, so maybe they just want priority in this lane. But this is where the CS lead really comes into question. King Georgie playing very aggressive in lane. Now lane wants to fight, actually forces the flash out of Kisaru.
And that's exactly it. When the lane is that long, you cannot opt into any fight because they will be able to chase you down and kill you. The ignite on lane for that additional combat power as well.
Yeah, stat-wise, BF Sword doing a lot of work here for King Georgie. Really trying to actually take a lot of minion aggro. Gonna get shielded up. Actually, gonna force the polymorph out there. Heal burn as well. King Georgie playing life on the edge.
Yeah, and he was playing pretty aggressive there, but lane was away dropping a control ward in the tri-bush. He wanted to try and bait in for the gank, I think, there, but they realized it in time and managed to back off.
Yeah, Suit Up Bro taking a heavy trade with Prime there. Prime looks to go in aggressively again. Forces the flash out.
And Prime could actually look to drive. He does have the Chrono Break available, so he could actually go for it here.
Yeah, doesn't have a lot of damage as he's only got the Kindle Gem available to him, but a phase dive and a triple hit there. Prime also very low though. As you said, ultimate available. Chrono Break could be used at any time. Kind Jungle maybe looking for something mid, but Izumida just farming up nicely. Is a little bit of a deficit, but that's to be expected into the early game. Now he's got a few levels.
And poor Kind Jungle, any lane he showed up to has been in the middle of backing away as soon as he gets there. So he never actually gets the chance to get off any of his ganks.
Yeah, losing a little bit in a jungle experience because of that. He just isn't pathing effectively right now with his team.
Down about 500 gold at this point as well. So Drew is sort of getting this advantage here, and this is really what you want on this Xin Zhao. Yes, getting ganks is nice, but your lanes really don't need them at this point. Your bottom lane's a little bit behind, but as long as they're still getting CS, it's alright, as they will scale up quite nicely.
Look at how much vision control DNA have in the bottom lane. They've got this quadrant of the map. They just need a little bit of vision around that tri-bush, and they will be covered just to try and harass these minions into tower and try and get something. MFL also slowly running out of mana as he has just had to piercing arrow the waves for whatever he can get.
And I'm hoping they opt into the Ocean Drake soon, as that'll be super important for Suit Up Bro, who doesn't have the tier. Getting just that little bit of extra mana regen will help him so much going into the later laning phase, and eventually as they transition out of it.
Yeah, just actually proccing the blasting cone there as well, just looking to try and deny, but again, Drew is looking to invade. He is playing very aggressively on this Dinjal, looking for the windows where he can take them, but the 4-man stack here into the mid lane, they are looking for Izumida. Can they land the pick on it?
They might just try and take the tower here. I'm not quite sure what the plan is, as Zamuda is quite tanky now with the Catalyst and Negatron Cloak.
Yeah, they're going to have to go around, but actually Drew's just trying to solo off the Richard here. He thinks that they have control on the top side. Suit Up Bro is pushing the wave though. Maybe he'll come down and spot this out. But Kind Jungle also in the bottom, maybe looking to... They're going to get double backs here for the bot lane. And
Galio ultimate.
Don't want anything. Oh, they're going to get it. Zamuda actually going to get traded on as Drew's going to fall, and that's going to get traded away from Zamuda onto Suit Up Bro.
And I don't think Drew was expecting quite that amount of burst damage out, as Kind Jungle's actually going to Try and take the tower here.
Yeah, so they're trading Rift Herald for the bottom tier tower here.
Nice spot out from Sudabro, but the ultimate from Zamuda was just in time so that he was able to make it there as Drew fell, so he could trade the kill in return.
Yeah, I feel with taking that Rift Herald as well, maybe they want to try and take this Ocean Drake. They have so much vision in the bottom side of the map.
They really should be opting into it, but Galio and Zinzao now around. Kind Jungle gonna have to back out.
Oh, he's gonna get knocked up by it. Zamuda actually goes aggressive, smites away onto the Scuffler, forces the flash out. He's solo flash again by Drew, and that will be kill secured over for the Zinzao there. Niles as well, having to do cleanup duties. We have a little bit of the lane swap here coming out for the solo laners.
Kind Jungle. This is so...
Oh, he's looking for Croydon, and that's actually going to get Croydon break back into Niles. Does he have the mana?
Nice.
Last flash tick, and he's going to go down. Oh, flash forward available. Sudabro in a little bit of trouble there. Double knock up onto him, and he will fall.
Nothing he could do there. As soon as they started layering the CC, he was guaranteed to be dead. 4-man mid, and they're popping the Rift Herald as well. They should easily be able to get this tower and potentially the second.
Oh, look at that Weaver's Wall to deny it, though.
The Rift Herald can get over that, though.
It does go over, but that was entertaining.
They do actually opt to pull off of it, and they're going to move towards the top lane with the ADC and support, trying to deny the push from King Georgie. And this series...
What I like about also good.
Alright, well, this series of events actually started off Kind Jungle, trying to pick up the Rift Scuttler there in front of the dragon. They have all this vision in the bottom lane, but he doesn't actually use it. He can see both Zamuda and Drew coming, but still he opts to go for the Rift Scuttle and just ends up dying for it, which sets the chain of events where they do have this priority both on dragon and the mid lane. The only thing that really is in their favor is Niles manages to trade that one kill in the top lane.
Yeah, what I was going to say is that with all these lane swaps coming out, it's really nice to see that the farm is quite strong, particularly for Niles in this mid lane, as he is on a very hot streak right now, really clearing and ripping through these waves. They are looking to maybe force something in the top side of the map. DNA looking for a little bit of a pick maybe, with Kind Jungle just waiting around, looking to see if MFAL steps forward.
They do get the vision onto Niles though, so they're going to know that he's up there and probably play a little bit safer. They can just opt to try and take this tower.
Yeah, they're just going to force that. Zamuda not able to rotate in time. Not actually going to trade as a TP
Teleport,
is
though.
actually cancelled here. Now they're looking to go. This is prying into the top lane. Going to cancel it actually, but the tower will fall.
I had to teleport way earlier there if they wanted to try and actually stop that. As soon as they saw him on the tower, they had to opt into it. Drew is in the bottom lane though, and they might look to trade this one tower.
Yeah, Zamuda not being very productive in the last minute, as well as he was looking to maybe make a play top. Was in range to Hero's entrance, but not really getting a lot of push. Maybe he could have finished out that tower.
Whoa!
Oh, I did not even see that kill. Sorry, that just happened very quickly.
There wasn't a whole lot to see. The stun. Kind Jungle
Calica's
got
also coming down for Kind Jungle. King Georgie there for the auto attacks as well. Zamuda having to run away. Gonna get the Feather Storm there as well. He will probably fall as the charm comes out from lane. So much damage down Kind Jungle onto a Slither, but this is a 4-man stack on the mid for DNA.
And that was almost a trade kill there. There's so much damage that just missed. They throw out the Feather Storm, they have the Cataclysm, they use the Weaver as well to block him off, and he still almost gets a kill in return for 4 ultimates as they drop a tower in the bottom lane.
Yeah, certainly prioritization for that. It is hard to kill a Galio in the early stages of the game, as he has now finished some of his items. Also got Morello Nomicon. Ardent Sensors are coming out. It's already been picked up by lane.
And although CMU is in a gold deficit here, it really feels like they're the ones in the lead. The bottom lane is behind, but you've now completed the Gwynzow's Rageblade for MFL on Varus. He's going to be a huge asset in these team fights now, as he is going to get all that extra damage. And it feels like they can just start forcing objectives, starting with this mid lane turret.
Yeah, when Kisaru manages to back, he will have the gold to match for that Ardent Sensor as well. Just picked up now. Pushing on bot lane for Sudak Rose, he's looking to maybe find a little bit of purchase of a split push. Doesn't have a lot of vision to push past that point though.
Yeah, looking at the individual gold, top lane's fairly even. There's a 1.4k gold lead in the jungle for Drew, as Kind Jungle's just failed to really do anything in this game. Almost seems like he's a little bit on tilt. Mid lane, oh, we do have a pause actually here. The mid lane is in favor of Niles by about 1.2k, so that is quite a big advantage for DNA there. Bottom lane is a 1.4k advantage over to King Georgie, and another 700 for the ADC, or for support, sorry, of lane. So bottom lane definitely ahead. You have a little bit of an advantage in the mid lane as well, but big discrepancy in the jungle. Drew disconnects.
Yeah, well, he said he was having 300 ping, sorry, so he will be looking just to restart his client, I would assume. Abyssal must finish for Insamuda, which is why it took them so long to kill him in that middle engagement. Also have warriors, and we're also going for a black cleaver now, which will slowly get finished for Drew, as he does have quite a substantial advantage against Kind Jungle, as you said, not really providing a lot of presence for his team in the early game, looking for ganks but not able to find them, and just getting his jungle camps denied by Drew here.
Specifically looking at Drew's build, actually, he already has the Phage completed, but he has another Ruby Crystal and Longsword, so I'm wondering if he's going to put that towards a Sterix Gauge, which has been changed recently in this patch, and buffed significantly, but changed to melee only. It'd be that or a Frozen Mallet, I believe, that he'd be looking for now.
A summoner has reconnected.
Yeah, I can definitely see value in the Frozen Mallet. It is a little bit of a expensive item for the stats that it provides.
I think the Sterix Gauge would be what it is.
The ideal, yeah. I think you're probably right with that.
It does give a significant amount of AD now, especially when you proc that lifeline. Especially the other bonus is the increased tenacity that you get from that, as Drew really having some troubles here. Assuming he can stay connected long enough, he will be able to walk through the CC quite easily from DNA, as they don't really have a lot. They've got some slows from Niles and lanes to knock up and charm, and that's really about it. The route from King Georgie is a little bit not reliable, I guess, and Suit Up Row has a very small knockback, so there's not a whole lot that they can do to stop Drew from just waltzing into the back line and blowing up either Niles or King Georgie.
Because Prine and Drew have a little bit of a sort of like burst mechanic there, does the sustained DPS that Suit Up Bro, Niles and King Georgie are able to actually commit to a fight, is there the sort of possibility that they just get outscaled, as DNA just have a superior sort of late game comp just to be able to really pump damage into Insamuda? And with Drew having that sort of like slightly more bruiser type build, just don't have the tank line to support it.
Zamuda is the tank line though. Plus, as soon as you go in on either the Xin Zhao or the Echo, whichever you choose to engage with first, Zamuda can instantly pop the hero's entrance onto, making tankier, providing that massive knockup for his team. And as they're trying to focus on these diving jungle and support that they picked, MFL can just free fire from the backline. He's already got the Guinzao's Rage completed. Once he stacks that up, he's going to be dealing massive damage to anyone he hits on the enemy team.
Yeah, probably looking for Runan's Hurricane fairly soon in that build as well.
And they do have the Chain of Corruption as well to try and make picks, so they have a lot more options, I think.
Oh, Prine already going aggressive into Niles. Prine taking a lot of damage out there from the threaded volley.
Did you get a massive lag spike?
Yeah, I did. We just have to check that. But Niles having to just run on the tower now. 2v1, but that opens up for the mid as there's a 3-man stack here against the bottom lane. MFL and Kisaru needing to defend against this, but the tower will fall.
Yeah,
it's going to be traded
really
probably in the top.
Suit Up Row as well has a little bit of a push advantage. Niles doing what he can to try and stop this top lane push. He had a super nice flash to get away there, but they do manage to pick up the tower trade in return.
Oh, DNA on an absolute tread trying to get on the towers here. T2 tower falling in bot lane just about. No, I don't think Suyapro can commit to it. He's gonna try and get engaged on it. Zabula looking for something,
so
not gonna
close.
find it. No. Are you on 133, 134?
1830.
I need to get back a bit then, okay.
Here, I will pause at 1840.
Alright.
And I will wait on you.
Okay, alright.
I'm actually on 1841 apparently. Whoops.
Yeah, no, that's fine, alright. 3, 2, 1.
And it looks like that pause was actually really advantageous for DNA, as it sort of gave them a little bit of a chance to collect themselves and try and take some objective across the map.
Flashes in the mid. Senfail has to get out of there from the engagement of King Georgie.
Very nice chain of corruption to stop anything else from the bottom lane of DNA. That's another Ocean Drake available now. The first one did go over to CMU. You really want to be getting these for DNA though, as Sudabro has no mana regen.
Yeah, just for that sustained poke in extended trades here. Kindoggle looking to start up something, gonna get exhausted. Cataclysm comes down as well. Now, who's taking the aggro? Sudapro has to flash away. Pride wants it though. Exhaust on the back. Niles tries to get some threaded volleys onto the backline. Kissaru taken very low there. Yeah, it will fall. CMU looks to be winning this fight. King Georgie now coming to have his say. They're looking to go aggressive as MFAL isn't there for the fight yet. And it's going to be traded 3 for 1 so far. Oh, Niles is looking to go aggressive. As going to get taunted up. Can't quite get the back splash. Now the threaded volley going to pick up the kill for Niles onto the top laner of Prime.
And this fight was going to be an absolute hogwash for CMU. They'd managed to pick up 3 kills already. The original engage was so good from DNA, Lane picking up 2 into the knockup and his charm, the Cataclysm following it up, but that set up the perfect opportunity for Zamuda to use the hero's entrance, gets multiple people knocked up, Drew gets the wild growth from Lulu, and they start taking people down. The only reason this turns around is because Niles and King Georgie play the fight perfectly, almost picking up the rest of the kills that fight, blinking health bars on the side of CMU.
Yeah, it looked good for a moment there. Turned around, as you said, by the carries. King Georgie playing that superbly. 200 CS also coming up for Niles here in just a moment when he can find the farm. So he's on a really good tear here. Haunting Guy's finished. That will be turned into a Leandri's Torment soon. Engagement on the Sudapro. He's going to get taunted by Zamuda and he will force a Drew there.
It was a nice vision ward. It was just a little bit too deep for you at the time there without priority.
MFL has to force that chain of corruption down. Drew tanking up the front line with that ultimate passive, just taking the reign. And it's King Georgie having to force the Featherstorm out, but will fall to Pride. Now Niles is having to kite backwards with that threaded volley, just trying to see what he can provide for his team. But already the fight is kind of over as CMU have rooted DNA. Oh my god, Kissaru just gets absolutely obliterated by Niles.
So much damage on Niles, and he's repeatedly landing these seismic shoves, trying to keep his team in this game. But there's so much follow-up damage from Central Michigan University. As soon as they decide to pick a fight, they just start layering crowd control onto the enemy team. And it looks like they can't be stopped.
This is going to be a fight here, as the Ocean Drake is being contested. Sorry to interrupt, Lumbax, but Torn comes down there. Teleport as well being channeled for Suyapro. He's going to be entering the fight, but the Dragon already goes over to Drew here for CMU. DNA looking to come back into this fight, though, as Niles has run out of mana. This means that it probably looks good for CMU, as they will clear up the fight.
Yeah, and no real way for them to take that fight. Niles just about out of mana here. King Georgie wasn't really in a position to be able to do a whole lot there either. And they're going to actually look for the Baron off of this. They still have Lulu at full health with Ardent.
Yeah, double Ocean Drake as well, just for the sustain means that they can just hammer on this as well. King Georgie doesn't quite have Featherstorm available. He's just looking to poke out though. Will get engaged on, trying to get the root there, but Prime's on his case. gonna commit to the slow as well. Featherstorm finally comes out when it comes off cooldown, but Prime will pick up that kill. He's also got the red buff, trying to go onto Niles now, gonna get traded away. But Kisaru also fight for there to Niles. He had double kill for him. How the Justice Punch comes out, Barrett has already fallen though. This means that Drew probably just wants to escape with his life right now. Secure the Baron buff. He wants to fight Niles now under duress, and Drew will pick up the kill.
Niles trying so hard to get something for his team there. Used the seismic shove prematurely to try and predict Drew going in. But once it's down, he pushes too far forward, and Drew says, well, you have no way to disengage from me anymore. I guess I'll take the free kill.
Drew is providing so much pressure for his team right now. Black Cleaver finished 7-1-5. I mean, he really out-jungled Kind Jungle in the early stages of the game. And now he's just providing the kills and support for his team, finishing off that Guardian Angel as well.
That was a full Guardian Angel purchase. He had nothing else, no components. He decides to sell his Ruby Crystal and just fully gets that.
It's great when you have gold. They are looking to pick up his first tower in the mid lane as well. They've got pressure. They are looking for the stack there. Prime just trying to work out where he wants to go, but the pressure is mid.
There are no teleports available, so Prime is probably going to have to join his team here.
Drew's looking for the engagement, forces the flag and drag out of Kind Jungle. Kind Jungle gonna get slowed up, gonna get knocked up as well. That'll be his death. From Empire, now that they're flashing forward, Issamuna getting a really nice taunt as well. Kind Jungle going forward, Drew as well.
Niles!
He's actually gonna survive. Prime now going onto Niles. Niles trying to get down Kisaru. That'll fall to Kind Georgie. Now Prime's looking to go very aggressive. He's diving the towers. Kind Georgie can't quite get the kill as the Chrono Break will come back for Prime.
Super nice route out of King Georgie as he uses that Featherstorm to try and stay alive. Followed up perfectly by Niles getting the seismic shove onto two people, almost taking out Kisaru and dropping Drew's Guardian Angel. It's just not enough though. At this point, being down this much and not really being able to take
Prime
fights.
Actually going to get engaged on. Sorry, Lane is here for the knockup as well. Onto Prime, but they turn for King Georgie and he will fall. Double kill now for Drew as he is 10-1. He is absolutely ripping through DNA right now. The gold is fairly close. I mean, now it's expanded up to 5k, but it's just positioning in fights who you can target and where you want to put your focus.
It's the massive crowd control as well. Central Michigan University are able to just consistently layer it on top of DNA and win these fights because they can't actually move.
Exactly, slows, knock up for days, stuns, and I mean they've got it all. Prime as well, playing very aggressively with his phase dives, and Drew just surviving through the fights, managing to kite out. Now we have Frozen Heart as well for Zamuda, so it's going to be even harder for King Georgie and Suit Up Bro to deal damage in these fights.
Yeah, and Drew is opting towards that Sterix gauge as well with that pickaxe, so he will be getting that soon. And that's going to be a massive spike for him as he will get that additional tenacity on top of the shield that he'll get there.
Yeah, Niles actually picking up the wireless Crystal Scepter is a really nice spot there. They are looking to pick out on there to Drew, forcing the Chrono Break. Chain of Corruption also coming out, just stunning Niles into place. Teleport coming out, will that be channeled? Yeah, it will, but this is Zamuda, he is the tank. Nice route by King Georgie there. They're just looking to kite out this fight. Parallel conversion is not going to be used, but Suit Up Bro is going to get taken down by Drew into the jungle. Now he's going to come back for the fight. It's getting a little bit low to sustain DPS of DNA, but Drew is here. He pops the ultimate. They're going for Kind Jungle. He will fall pretty much instantly to the turn. NPL picking that kill up. Now it's Zamuda just dodging away from the knockup of Niles, just trying to escape that.
Central Michigan University repeatedly finding these kills, and there are oppressive. Super minions in the mid lane are about to get to the base. They have to give up this tower and try and clear some of these waves.
Yeah, now they're looking to play even more aggressively. As you said, they do have the wave also channeling in the bot side of the map. That's slowly going to push out against them though, so somebody will need to be there. But massive pressure in the mid lane as well. They have 30 seconds on the dragon. That'll be a mountain that they can look to go for. Baron going to be up in about 2 minutes as well.
Yeah, and they can just slowly starve out DNA at this point. There's nothing they can really do to take a fight. Niles has no mana to take extended fights. Kind Jungle so far behind. He's level 11 to Drew's level 15. That is a 4-level difference. Kind Jungle has been absolutely destroyed in this game.
Yeah, also going for that slightly more sort of team fight build of Locket, Dio, and Solari, just trying to provide that, but it's only blocked 209 damage so far, so not really being utilized to its fullest.
I don't think he's actually lived long enough to proc it.
I don't think so either. We will soon have Infinity Edge finish the King Georgie. That'll be a nice spike for him. I was kind of hoping Wild Eyes Cryptal Scepter, as we saw in that last engagement, adds a little bit more kite potential for Niles, but Niles is just putting all of his mana into these trades, just stacking it into Itzamuda. Niles trying to get onto find that, forces out the Chrono Break.
And they are setting up this 4-1 though. Prine is going to be okay without that Chrono Break. He has quite a bit of CDR now, so he'll get it up again soon. They can just still push these waves in and try and force down towers. Niles is going to have to respond to the top lane.
Yeah, Prine also has teleport, so he's just splitting bot, looking for that last tower that's available. But Titsamuda going in. Prine also trying to get that. He's teleporting, Chain of Corruption, locking up Kind Jungle. That's going to go double kill to the Ezreal. Empire looking to get that knock up again onto the front line. That kill's going to go over to Kissaru. Prine just looking to solo Niles under the tower there. Maybe going a little bit aggressive, but he pops the Zonya's Hourglass. Actually going to escape that. Empire also looking for the damage, but just getting kited out there. It's Niles versus the world right here, as they do have double can super minions coming into the base.
And this is almost what it feels like it's been for most of the game, as they are on the Nexus turrets here. Niles is going to have to pull out some miracle play. No miracle play.
He's just going to fall. This is the game here. Game 1, Central Michigan University pulling out the win over DNA. DNA is currently at the top of the group, so this is a really nice win for them. They'll look to take it in and build this momentum into game number 2.
Yeah, very nice win from them. I really did like how they executed the Xin Zhao. He didn't have to gank any of the lanes early, but he got a massive advantage in the jungle. Ending the game there, 3 levels up. Huge out of him.
Yeah, I mean, Drew was just beast mode right there, playing absolutely impeccably and really just showing up in the jungle. Kind Jungle was not prepared for the storm that CMU are able to put out against him.
Yeah, looking at the stats as well, 3.2k damage from the Rakan, 5,300 from the Jarvan. So not really much more valuable than a support in that game. Kind Jungle's really going to have to step up in this next one if they want to take a victory.
Yeah, certainly exciting to see top level Xin Zhao play. Looking forward to see that maybe in game number 2 or might get banned out against him. I'm sure that they have other comps up their sleeve, so stay tuned for that. We will be right back with game number 2. Have you muted the stream?
All right, and we are just about to get into Champion Select here for game number 2. DNA down 0-1, but they will be on the blue side for this game here against Central Michigan University. I am your color, Lombax Pieboy. Rutger, how did you feel about game 1 there?
I mean, it was just a fantastic display of Drew on that Xin Zhao. Izumida playing a heavy engage on that Gallia as well, really supporting his team, enabling Prime to play aggressive on the sides of the fight, just trying to flank, pick up the kills, and then fail as well, dealing that damage with that Rage Blade Varus build.
Yeah,
Drew
and
instantly gets banned away again with that Xin Zhao. They do
exactly.
not want anything to do with that champion right now.
No, they saw how much it shut down Khan Jungle and they just decided, nope, we're not even going to deal with it. We're not playing around that. Done. It's gone. Yasuo banned away again as the first ban from from CMU, my bad. Swapped sides here. And Echo actually banned away as the respect ban as well to Prime as they feel that was a significant carry potential from them.
I mean, they are completely changing their tune here for the bans as 3 champions played in the last game are just going to get instantly banned away against them. So we will have very different team fight strategies coming out. I'm sure they have others in the works, so we will be able to see that. Maybe Izumida will be picking out the Azir. It's a shame that both of these mid laners generally don't play the Zed or Talon that aggressively. So Yasuo and Echo, sort of their primary assassin mid laners that they do like to play. So we'll be seeing a little bit more defense probably from both of these teams, maybe playing more CC or on that Gallia pickup. Again, Xayah banned out against MPL.
And I do like the respect ban of the Talia here from Central Michigan University. Niles was so good on that last game. He is the one reason they managed to stay in the game for that long, continuously landing seismic shove onto multiple or priority targets to set up picks and get people chunked down low. Caitlyn picked and Kog'Maw in return. That is very interesting.
Banning 5 of the champions that were played in the last game means that the champions that you banned out last game come up to the fold. Maybe they didn't really fully think this through, but we'll see how it goes. They're adaptating to this. Caitlyn picked up for King Georgie against Kog'Maw and Janna, played by Kisaru.
Yeah, and this was a lane matchup that we saw repeatedly today in the series between WE and Cloud9. A little bit of a spoiler here. Kog'Maw Janna, surprisingly strong even though you're against the lane dominant Caitlyn, because as soon as you get out of the laning phase, Kog'Maw just starts mowing down the enemy team.
He just turned online with that on-hit damage. Really nice Sejuani pickup here, enabling for that higher engage potential. Karma going to be played by lane. He played this previously in the RML. He also went Ignite, looking for that early trade damage. Maybe he'll go that again with the Caitlyn, just trying to deny Kog'Maw and Janna as much CS as possible, just to deny that power spike, as he said, as soon as they get out of laning phase. You really want to see King Georgie just to dominate this laning phase as much as possible, try and shut down MPL. We are going to see the Galio again, maybe for Izumida, but it is a flex pick for the top lane as well.
Yeah, and I'm getting some PTSD here. This is the comp pretty much that Cloud9 lost to in Game 5 against WE. The Galio, the Janna. Kog'Maw might not actually die this game. DNA is going to have to put on a clinic on taking towers with the Caitlyn and Karma. They have to shove in early, take that bottom tower, roam to another lane, take that tower, and you have to keep up this extremely fast pace, because as soon as you let off the gas, as soon as Kog'Maw gets a couple items, Janna and Galio will just sit on top of him and you will never get to kill him.
Yeah, also with Talia and now Victor banned out, it means that Niles probably needs to play wave clear mid laner against Izumida, try and get some lane priority, and again, more shields coming up. This is massive, just protect the AD comp here. Classic coming out of Central Michigan University.
I feel so bad already for them. Unless you get the perfect engage or pick onto them, there's no chance that you actually manage to kill Kog'Maw at this point. You get 2 shields and the hero's entrance resistances. Nar picked up in the top lane blind, so you do potentially have a bit of a winning matchup there. And the Azir going to be picked up for Niles as well. Have not
Yeah,
seen
so
that one out of him yet.
we do see the summoner spell of Ignite on lane currently, so they are going to look to play a little bit aggressively. And they do. They really need to just shut down MFL. If they can do that successfully and deny that CS, oh, the Vayne pickup is...
Oh
It's
my
locked in!
god.
What
that
is
Vayne
this
mid?
This is Vayne jungle currently. No, it's Prime top lane on Kog'Maw. No, it's Vayne top lane. Okay, right, that makes a lot more sense. Because you do not want to play Kog'Maw in the top lane against Anar. That is super interesting, and I mean that just adds that whole extra development. If you take out the Kog'Maw, you've got the Vayne as backup. A little bit less engage and CC available, but you also have that condemn. So another tool just to keep these carries alive. This is fantastic coming out of CMU.
I do see this as a potentially favorable matchup into the Gnar though, but it will be a hotspot for Kind Jungle to gank. As soon as you land a stun onto the Vayne, Prime really isn't going to be able to get away, so he's going to have to make sure he has his lane warded extremely well, because falling behind means that they're down to a single carry in MFL, and he's going to be behind early against this Kaelin Karma, there is no doubt about it.
Yeah, Drew also on this a lot more supportive champion now, so they are looking to play a little bit more defensive, won't give him license to invade as much as he used to. You can look to try and get his picks, but he does get low in the jungle, so we'll see how this pick comes out.
Untrue. If he has Smite up, I am sure that he will be invading at some point because he can steal away camps instantly. So we might see one
very
early.
quickly. Right? Oh, I don't know who I favor for this.
I'm like no doubt about it. I am giving it to Central Michigan University. I'm still confused on the sides there for some reason. Central Michigan University with this team comp, I think like there's no way they lose this. Unless they get absolutely massively behind in the early game, they scale so well that there's just no real way you're gonna. You can dedicate Ivern to the Vayne and John to the Kog'Maw, and you have Ardent Sensor on both of them, and they're gonna be able to just wail away on the front line of Sejuani and Gnar, and there's no way you can kill them.
Yeah, I mean, that is a lot of tank shred right there. Sejuani will have him work cut out. You are probably going to need to play a little bit more aggressive in your build path, probably not going for that Locket of the Iron Solari, probably going for that Gargoyle Stoneplate, just try and get as much tank stats and trying to lay the carries of Pride and Empire.
And Vayne is a very clever pickup into the Sejuani as well, as Kog'Maw will have a little bit of trouble getting through her damage, but the true damage from Vayne will shred her even with the passive up.
Do you think this will be a tank killing Vayne? You can go Rage Blade fairly early, also Blair the Rune King, and just try and stack that percent damage as well, really try and shred out, or will it be a bit more of a crit focus, trying to kill the Azir on Niles and Caitlyn on King Georgie?
The Rageblade has been the favorable build at Worlds, and I can see with double Ardent Sensor it being the one you go for here, as you do get such a big power spike with an Ardent Sensor on top of you. But that remains to be seen how the laning phase goes, as I think if Vayne gets behind, going for that Rageblade delays your damage so long that it's not really worth it. You should just opt for something like the Bork to give you a little bit of sustain in lane then.
Yeah, I actually really like the 3-item power spike you can get out of the Blade of the Rune King. Rage Blade, Gringsu's Rage Blade, and then also for the Phantom Dancer for a little bit more trading potential, because you will be playing as a solo laner. Also going to be up in experience, so Prime's damage early is going to be phenomenal if he can hit these power spikes at the right time.
Yeah, and King Georgie and lane going to have to be so massive for their team here. I can't stress that enough. Yes, Sejuani can gank onto Prime and set him behind, but you have to shut down this Kog'Maw, because as soon as he starts to get items, you cannot kill him. And he activates his W, walks forward with the Rage Blade, and melts everyone. Doesn't matter if you're a tank, squishy, whatever it is, he will kill you in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, they are all in on this, as we do have Thunderlord's Ignite Karma coming at you right now, laying a lot of pressure on him, really to just deny Kog'Maw on this pick. MFL going to have to play this game expertly, probably looking for a Dorian Shield start. I would have thought from him, just try and survive the early laning phase, try and get out of it with as much CS as possible and look to explode in the later stages of the fight.
Yeah. Pause here. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, and we actually don't see the Pugma, which has been the favorite skin of pretty much everybody recently. Actually opting for a little bit of a butterfly instead.
Yeah, we'll be going into that. He will actually start the Dorian's Blade, so a little bit more offense than potential, but certainly no Relic Shields in this game again. Spell Thieves picked up for the Karma as well, so looking to play very aggressive in this early stage of the game. This is what they need to do. DNA need to shut down MFL right now, and Kind Jungle needs to show some prioritization up onto Pride in the top lane to also just deny this, as we do have a Cull start for the Vayne as well. That is very aggressive. Denying the little bit of health bar.
I mean, yes, you're going to hit item spikes early, but it's also a huge disrespect as you do lack the health there.
Oh, Drew actually might need to flash away from this. Isabuta there for the backup, though not too much is going to come from that little bit of slow there, but he'll just be able to base.
Might be a little bit late getting to his camp, but he's not going to be able to steal anything away now because of it. They're going to drop a ward over, so they will be able to spot where he goes.
Yeah, Drew just looking to set up around the bottom side of the map. He's going to be starting on that blue buff. Just looking for that CDR. Going to get matched by Kind Jungle, who's also looking for the blue.
Yeah, and as I was saying before, Drew was a little bit caught out there. I think this is a little bit of a disrespectful move from Prine, actually going for the Cull there, as you're gonna be the contention. You're gonna be.
Oh, the shove in bot lane though is just horrendous right now. It is just getting absolutely charged into the tower. FAL already at half health.
You are very much in contention as this Vayne as the primary place for the Sejuani to gank. With the Cull, you lack the health and a little bit of the regen that you would get. See, I
like just being able to tumble away from the boomerang though. That can actually tumbling aggressively. They're looking for the trade now. Drew up in the top lane, maybe looking for something. It is level 2. He's just waiting and biding his time. Maybe looking for Vayne to get level 2. Now he goes. Gonna get matched by Suit Up Bro, who's just gonna be able to jump away with that level up himself.
Yeah, is already at half health though, and Prine with the silver bolts is going to be able to start chipping away at him, especially as he goes into Mega. He will have no response.
Yeah, but the CS is taking its toll in the bot lane already. MFL is just getting denied right now. Already burned his pot at 3 minutes into the game.
And this is 100% what you expect out of this bottom lane. This is what King Georgie and lane need to do. You need to constantly have this wave shoved in, chip at that turret. You want this thing down at about 8 minutes so you can rotate to another lane and start taking that turret.
I mean, they'll do it. 3 minutes into the game, it's already at half health. I mean, 16 seconds on that Eye of the Storm shield for Kisaru. That's just not enough to deal with the poke that lane is putting out right now. Still got a little bit of mana on the champion as well.
And they cannot let off the gas here. You have to get this gold advantage so that Caitlyn is able to take fights easily against both Prine and MFL.
Just going to dodge away from the knock-up there. Kisaru just trying to see what he can create. MFL also getting the shield. Just trying to sustain in this lane, as this is relentless by King Georgian lane.
The one sort of advantage that Caitlyn does get here is that in this patch, Ardent Sensor no longer gives the healing that it does in Worlds. So MFL will have a bit more trouble sustaining himself in the mid game.
Exactly, they are just looking to push forward aggressively right now. Already up over a wave of CS, 4.5 minutes in.
Niles just sidestepping the...
Kind Jungle looking to come onto Pride, forces the flash already. That's matched Gonna get followed through there. Pride looking very low. Flashless as well. Stood up, bro. Looking to maybe dive on the tower, but hasn't quite got the range. Gonna get traded back. Slow with a house there.
Yeah, that was a very nice stun and setup from Sudabro. They do manage to pull the flash out of Prime.
Oh, 3-man stack in the bottom lane. Lane already forcing the flash out. Already got that mobility. King Jungle has to be wary though. Flashless Lane gets rooted up there as well. Going very low now. King Georgie has license to regress onto the bottom lane. But manaless MFAL has to run for his life.
Yeah, and almost getting him with the Ignite there, having to blow the heal on Kisaru. Nice gank in terms of getting the summoners out, but a bit failed as well because you do have to blow that defensive summoner for your bottom lane who's just looking to sustain. Down.
Yeah, I think maybe shut this into tower and then back for a BF sword, then you can really look to take down the tower in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, already at that 1300 mark. 300 gold down on MFL currently.
Oh, Drew maybe looking to set up something onto Niles. Just gonna be able to run out of that. Gonna get rooted, but he's kind of under tower range right now. It's taking a few shots, but Niles down to half health. No summoners done.
Huge change from Drew in this game. Previously we saw him on that Xin Zhao, and he was just power farming in the jungle, repeatedly taking away camps. Whereas in this game, he is pretty much just walking. He's already in the bottom lane for a gank again.
Oh, he's going down bottom, so I was looking at top right there. Gonna get rooted up, might actually fall, but here comes the hero's entrance out of Vince Zamuda. They're looking to just secure this, actually gonna flash under the tower. He's taking so many tower shots, forcing the flash out of King Georgie. He's looking to fall their first blood will go over to King Georgie right here. And Vale also getting rooted from the jungle. Niles staying mid though means that he gets the priority, maybe looking to come back as Drew is very low.
Yeah, just forcing a little bit too hard there, going really deep. I can understand they want to try and get their bottom lane ahead, but at this point, giving kills over to King Georgie is the last thing you want. He is the huge carry for the early game that needs to be getting ahead. Giving him first blood is massive for DNA.
Yeah, also coming back with boots of speed just means that you get that poke advantage out as Berserker's Weaves coming out of Empire. This gives him virtually no combat stats though, just a little bit of attack speed coming back to lane versus this BF. This is the time where King Georgie and lane can really assert their dominance in the bot lane, even though they have done so already.
And I'm going to put my money on it about now. 3 waves at most before that bottom lane turret is down. You take that, you have to rotate either to the top lane or mid lane instantly. Start taking another tower.
Yeah, suit up bro also being that range carry just means that he can just defend against the Cogmore if he's putting a lane in it.
Yeah, and he does have a little bit of that XP advantage as well. Lane might be caught out though.
Might be caught out here. Here comes King Georgie with the autos. Level 4 onto Vale. Gonna get rooted up there. But Drew is available in the bottom lane. Lane is flashes still. Gonna get rooted up. Gonna get taken down. Yes, he will. That goes over to Drew. But in the top side, Prime is getting tower dived right now. That's gonna go over to Kind Jungle.
So close there. Just about picking up the kill onto Sudapro. In the bottom lane though, I thought for sure MFL was going to fall. King Georgie with so much damage, but they do manage to get that root and back off afterwards.
Yeah, actually first tower is going to be taken still by DNA, but it wasn't in the bot lane that we thought, but potentially in the top lane as teleport is not available for Brian.
Yeah, and this is fantastic for them as well because it means they can rotate everyone.
Oh, King Georgie is manaless right here. MFL trying to just trade down for the kills, but he will fall. That's going to go second kill over to Drew. This isn't where the gold you really want it to go. But with Daisy available, they are now looking to take this early Ocean Drake.
Niles.
Oh wait, he forces the flash out. MFL uses the barrier as well, just trying to deal a little bit of damage. Itzamula is playing bodyguard for his team, while the Ocean Drake will be contested for TNA. Gonna secure that.
Oh
actually
no,
popping out
do not go on
just to secure. Oh, will they secure it? Yeah, that'll finally fall over to that. But Pride in the top lane gonna go down potentially to the 2v1 yet again. This is not a good lane phase for him. Actually, potentially going for Frozen Mallet, first item top lane bane.
And the tower was down, so you really had no vision control or anything. You could kind of tell he was kind of moving off towards the tri-bush, you have to ask yourself, why is Nar running away from his turret? That's because Kind Jungle's just sitting in the bush waiting there. Gets the free kill.
Yeah, gold in advantage for DNA right now as they do have this slightly early game composition.
Yeah, and Drew does pick up the 2 early kills here. It's slightly unfortunate as you want it on the Kog'Maw, but at the same time...
Oh, Niles, fantastic ultimate onto Drew right there. That Emperor's Device was spectacular, just knocking him out of turret range. Gonna secure the kill. Now they've got a 3-man stack in the mid, looking to take down that objective as well. Running out of minions though.
Yeah, and this is the way you want to play this game. A little bit Clown Fiesta so far, but they're getting the towers, and that's the important part.
Well, I mean, you say Clown Fiesta, but this is what DNA want, right? They want this early lead, they want the early objectives. This is looking to be the second tower down. It's the meter coming back to the mid lane, they're just looking to clear this out. But 3k gold lead already for DNA is exactly where they want to be in the game.
Yeah, and that's only with the first tower. They're going to pick up 2 more very briefly here as King Georgie does draw pretty low to MFL, showing he can return some damage at this point.
Yeah, just missing out on the Caliber net would have been followed over with the Peacemaker. Actually gonna drop the ace in the hole, looking to take this trade.
Yeah, and they're just trying to get this turret here. Any poke damage they can get on an MFL right now is perfect. Drew is rotating down though. He might be looking for another gank.
Yeah, they have been susceptible to this in the past. They do have the Vision Ward, but I don't think that'll stop Drew. Drew's looking to already prot Daisy, flashes forward aggressively, actually misses the route onto King Georgie, but I don't think it's going to matter as the knockup comes through. Monsoon also channeled, Enfield gonna fall down to lane. Teleport suited up, bro is now on the line of fire. Gonna get taken down, but there's a kill over from Pride picking up lane. Gonna get a double kill over as that teleport was also channeled. Flashbang on Pride. I didn't really see how he joined the fight there, but that was on the backboard. Oh, too fair.
Yeah, wow. You teleport and flank with Nar, I'll teleport and flank with the Bane. Easy GG. Niles is here as well to help defend this.
15 CS available on this Cull. Gonna be a really nice back fight when he gets there. Can Niles defend with the blue buff?
He did pick up the 2 kills as well, so he's currently sitting on 1700 gold. That should be the completed Frozen Mallet for him, and he's going to be able to work towards hopefully some attack speed after that.
I mean, we were talking about crit and Rage Blade. We had no idea that the Frozen Mallet was going to come out from the top lane of Pride.
Yeah, and they're sitting around this tower. I'm not sure why. It only takes 2 autos to kill it.
Yeah, Niles looking to rest onto this, but he's having to run away. Really nice Emperor's Divide just to knock away 2 of them as well. Kissaru not able to follow that up as that was a really nice disengage there by Niles.
Yeah, nice route landing onto him. Was able to keep him there long enough that they can keep this tower for now. Does mean they keep it alive for a little bit longer and delay the gold lead even more.
Is 30 CS lead for the Kaden as much as you want right now, but it's just absolutely annihilated in the bot lane. Sorry, I was focusing on the invade that King George's 2-0 trying to apply, but double kill down onto the bot lane for Niles' life as he did play that very aggressively.
Yeah, and I did say they delayed a little bit longer. Pushing up a bit far though, they don't have the vision. Kind Jungle does land the ultimate, and that means that they get 2 kills. MFL does manage to pick up 1 in return though. Halfway to his Guinzao's now.
Yeah, is that 35 CS lead gonna be big enough for King Georgie to stop NFL's advance? Can Prime win this split push with the Frozen Mallet? Looking to getting out those silver bot procs, but that is a tanky Gnar right now.
And this is sort of the timer you're on though. As soon as MFL manages to complete that Guinzao's Rage Blade, he's easily going to be able to match the damage from Caitlyn because she does not have quite enough of a lead yet.
Yeah, manages to get killed. Kind Jungle looking to play aggressive onto Drew there. Suda Bro in charge as well.
He has his team here though.
Hero's entrance coming through. Suda Bro taking very low. Actually going to pop over onto the other side. Kind Jungle is going to be the first to fall. That goes off to NVL. This is fantastic. Emperor's Divide coming forward. Niles looking to just kite backwards. The lane is going to get taken down. Probably double kill over to NVL. That is great news for CMU as they're managing to just survive the
Yeah, and they did try and take the fight here, but they didn't have the roam potential to get there in time. The hero's entrance from Zamuda, keeping Drew alive long enough for Kisaru to get the ultimate off, heals pretty much everybody to full health for that fight, and they're just able to take it after that with the auto attack damage coming through for both Prine and MFL. They're going to get Rift Herald off the back of this as well.
Rift Herald, Carl has now completed for Prime. This closes the goal gap as well, just to under 3k. This is a really nice spot now for CMU to potentially charge into this mid-game section with the items that they want. I think 1800 gold backing for MFL. I think he can actually complete the Gwynsues now. They're not looking for it though, they're looking for Suatbro in the top lanes. We have a 4-man stack here for CMU. They're looking to go the slowest on, the red buff is available. MFL now unloading the damage onto Suatbro, having to run away, just trying to fight the damage, gonna get rooted up by Drew, gonna fall. That is 5-2 Cogmore right now, gonna get traded for Drake, but I mean,
They're getting
MFL
a
is
top tower
online.
as well now though. He's already sitting on 2.2k gold on this recall. Actually, they're looking for the tier 2 turret as well. As soon as MFL recalls off this, he's going to have so much gold to spend. This is the lead they need to pull. They're actually down only 1k gold now at this point. As soon as they get this tower, gold should be even.
Oh, they are struggling right now. CMU is very aggressive, taking out those towers. As you said, MFL's going to have a fantastic back for himself. Now getting the kills as we do have the 5 assists over onto Drew, just meaning that this Cogmore's going to be in such a nice position. Also with the Frozen Mallet ready for the split push. Maybe a Blade of the Rune King next item and that will be a fully split pushed on. No, we're going to get a Gwynsues out second item for Pride as we do see the recurve bow and the pickaxe secured. That's great with AD carries right now. The fact that you do have these sort of like build paths that you can choose shows a really nice diversity to the game, means that you're not looking to just focus
on
out as the Muda. Now King Georgie has to run away from that, burns his own in return and the heal just to escape that. Daisy just going to get mown down as well, but getting the flash out of the AD carry, that is important.
Yeah, that is pretty huge as well because they are at these item breakpoints now. Triple dagger on top of the Gunzes for MFL, who is going to be able to pick up the Runeans fairly soon.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, actually, I'm surprised how well Lane is doing with this Frostbank, as the Nomad's Medallion only actually securing over 100 golds lead for that item against the Frostbank. But the engagement coming up, potentially, Lane knocked up on the front lines, but the traps are there for King Georgie. Just trying to secure that in the line on the tower, really trying to close up the top side of this middle lane.
Now the one unfortunate thing for CMU is that you do lack the sort of heavy engage you need to start fights. You're fairly reliant on the objectives to be able to start them.
Yeah, Kind Juggle looking to get a few pokes on. King Georgie just going to secure this tower for them. It was ARAM style there for a moment, but they managed to secure that objective. DNA just trying to usher in a little bit more of a gold lead for themselves going forward. They have quite a big stack of minions as well in this top side. That's where they're looking to go.
There's absolutely no vision on the map for CMU currently. They have a single ward. To be able to match these rotations, you need to know where the enemy team is going.
Oh, Kind Juggle is looking to a flank when this tower falls. Actually, he looks to go earlier. Suatbro is tanking the tower. Massive Gnarls of 3 people. Gnarls also going aggressive.
Nice!
He's gonna fall. Kind Juggle now trying to kite backwards, but he will fall to the carries. And that was a little bit of an aggressive engagement. Fantastic by Kind Juggle and Nulls, but not quite on the same page with their team. Means that the fight is now extended. Sorry, going forward onto this is Zamuda looking very, very low. Gonna clear his entrance out. Prime maybe looking to take the damage, but shield comes out for Janna. Kisaru managing to provide that for his team, and we are reset around the map. Oh no, we're not. No, we're not. Suatbro's gonna get an exit kill.
And that was such a close fight for an ace for DNA. Niles trying to make the hero play, but the Monsoon heal was more than enough to keep everybody alive.
Oh, TP's being channeled. They're going forward. Drew's looking for something, but it's just going to be to secure the tower as Suatbro's also looking to come around.
Yeah, no home guards yet, so Zamuda can't really follow in onto anything there. We're only 19 minutes into the game. We're already pretty much at inhibs on both sides.
I mean, you say both sides. They only have 2 towers down at the top lane. That was with the Rift help push about 5 minutes ago. So objectives available for CMU. If they can find a fight, there is easy access to gold on the map.
I say almost at inhibs. I think pretty much if they get 2 minutes onto any towers, they would be easily at it, as Baron Nashor spawns now as well. It does feel like this game is very much on a nice edge. As soon as one team is able to win a team fight, they're going to be able to take so much of the enemy's base.
Yeah, I kind of like the ARM style that DNA was playing there. They went a little bit too aggressive with Suit Up Pro and Niles looking to go forward and not quite able to secure that with Kind Jungle there, as King Georgie wasn't able to provide the damage for his team, unwilling to go past that tower. Looking at the items coming out, as we do have a little bit of spread as the top laners have joined down to the bottom here. Frozen Mallet on both of the champions, so if they connect and actually start fighting, they are going to look to fall. We do have a Warmogs picked up for the Sejuani, so Kind Jungle going a little bit more of a defensive build right now, potentially looking for Stoneborn Pack next. We have Morello and Omicron trying to finish out that Leonis Torment, but Suit Up Pro is looking to go aggressive in the bottom.
Yeah, Prime does get signed up.
Against the wall, actually. That was really nice play. Prime having to kite backwards, but just not doing enough damage to Suit Up Pro right now. As the boulder comes through, gonna force the grand entrance as well coming out. They're gonna knock up Suit Up Pro, but the kill will fall over, and this will be traded out, and teleport comes.
The Frozen Mallet!
He's trying to kite away. He will. He's also got the red buff for generation right now, as Niles gets a kill up around the Baron, but that's gonna get traded for Zamuda in the bottom lane.
And the Janna picked up in the top lane is the person you want to find. MFL has no real protection other than Drew's shields now, which won't be nearly the same as what Janna can provide. They could look for this Baron after this, or just go for the inhib here. Finally, it's up in 3 seconds.
Pride now back on the map. Kissaru there in 3 seconds as this Zamuda just trying to secure some tower damage, but Drew's getting so low there. Kind Jungle on the wrong side of the tower right now, but Kind Georgie just trying to get a little bit of damage onto the tower, already down to 2/3 health. Prime back on the map, maybe looking for Kind Jungle, not able to secure that as he does take the blasting.
And Gwyn's now completed for Prime as well. He's going to have significantly more damage than he just did in that previous fight against Suda Bro.
So do you think they're going to look to turrets, or is this more like around the Baron now?
You have to start looking for the objectives if you're CMU at this point. You take them so quickly, both with the Kog'Maw and Vayne having that Gwyn's Rageblade. Does catch Kissaru though.
That gets a double up, and that will be Kissaru absolutely falling true also as well. This will probably be Baron over to DNA.
That's the issue though, you don't have enough vision control from Central Michigan University. They're looking to try and take these objectives, but you need to set up around them beforehand. This is just going to fall for DNA. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, Suit Up Bro also just looking to defend. Baron will fall. That goes over to DNA. Suit Up Bro already onto the backline, looking for MFL. Massive damage as he gets the ult, and the Jano just isn't there to protect him, and he will fall to the solo kill. Ace in the hole, not even needed as that cooldown will be reset.
Yeah, and he's playing the Snarf very well. A little bit of a failed engage in top lane a while ago, but other than that, he's been doing super well both in the 1v1 and as he's been moving around the map.
That's what the comp. Daisy's going to be prompted just to secure this tower, but I think it's just going to fall with the mass of that. Really nice one actually. Lane and Suit Up Bro, the recipients of that. King Georgie on the front line, just trying to secure this tower. One more shot of that, but shield comes out of Kissaru. Prime now on the front line, maybe looking to start something. He's looking to go forward with the final hour. Gets rooted up by the Glacial Prism. Is Zamuda? Can he start the fight again? But he is so low, they probably don't want that. Just going to lose the tower, not the inhib.
Yeah, and the Negatron Cloak already coming through for Vayne. You really want to get that QSS now. That is the one thing you really need to be able to start winning these fights, is to be able to cleanse the CC so you can keep pumping out that damage. They're going to pick up a dragon here.
Yeah, this will be the Cloud going over to CMU if they can collect this. They probably will be, as Niles is just looking to secure his blue buff.
Now that Cloud Drake will help a little bit in the rotations, but Baron buff is still on DNA. They're going to have to look to try and force one of the inhibs down while they have this. This is their opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't really rotations. This is literally just Arab style in a lane, just press until you get it right now. And they are slowly getting these objectives. They are winning it inch by inch. It is a slow process as we are now 24 minutes into the game. As the tower taking has sort of stalled a little bit, but King Georgie getting a lot of pot shots every single time. The shield coming out on Janet just isn't enough right now.
Drew dropping low again. Niles is really putting out the damage now. He's starting to get those items.
Yeah, Rylai's Crystal Scepter finished for him. He's just looking to accelerate this game. Tower falls in the bot lane from Sudapro. The split pushes on for him. Prine has to answer that. I don't think he's got the damage now. It's actually Sudapro is just looking to get down the damage onto him.
Yeah, there's no real sustain though on Prine. He is going in.
Oh, Prime was just absolutely full there. Kind Jungle managed to secure that, and in the mid also King Georgie just looking to accelerate down the tower. And 2 inhibitor towers fall, 3 almost to suit up bro. Still tanking this one. That'll fall to Kind Jungle, and the inhibitor will fall mid. So many objectives falling for DNA. That's exactly where they want it. They've got an 11k gold lead now. They're looking for these objectives.
They're going to grab the third inhib here on the top lane as well, and this might spell the end of the game for CMU. They can't really respond to this with just 3 members.
Oh, triple inhib will be their death. CMU in a very sticky wicket right now, as they will just have to secure their base as much as possible. Maybe get a secure kill onto Sudapro, but the hop away will just secure that exit, and they get away cleanly. They get triple inhib right now, and they are looking in a very commanding position.
Yeah, 11k gold lead for them now. They are so far ahead that they are able to just force whatever they want. 3 items on that Caitlyn compared to the 2.5 from Kog'Maw.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, QSS finished. That is defensive. That isn't really the damage spike that you want to be hitting, as we do have Lord Dominic's Regards now finished for King Georgie, so he can really start wailing on the tanks, but that is literally just Instamuna right now, as we see Drew just taking so much damage with this fairly defensive build of the Redemption, and are essentially just looking to stack up onto MFL and Prime, but just the damage isn't coming out from the carries right now, as they can't consolidate for a team fight.
Yeah, and Drew is stepping up too far forward repeatedly. Niles is just chunking him down with 2 abilities. As soon as he gets a little bit of poke onto him, he has no resistances other than a small amount of health and armor. So he just takes the damage and can't really heal it up, so he's forced to either recall or just sit at the back and not do much in the team fight.
Yeah, exactly. Now they are ushering these super minions in double stacked in all 3 lanes right now. This is oppressive, as Daisy's spawn there. They are for a fight. They go on to Kai Jungle though. That's not really the target. Instamuna flashes forward, tries to get onto the backline, finds also on the back, trying to get King Georgie, but will fall. Double kill over to lane. Now that means that they're re-engaging. Glacial Prism gonna get popped up. MPL the 4th to die there, as King Georgie's gonna be there, and that is the game right there, as you say, Lombax.
Yeah, very well played from DNA to bounce back in this game. They did exactly what they did, getting a massive gold lead and just snowballing it out of control. Niles showing again he has fantastic mastery of his mid lane champions, and King Georgie just putting the damage out, winning the game for them.
Absolute fantastic second game. This will take us to a game 3. I'm super excited for that, as the 2 teams locking heads again, and just the pressure that DNA will manage to accelerate into this game, really phenomenal, and just managing to secure that victory means that we will go to a game 3.
All right, and we are already getting into Champion Select here for the final game of Central Michigan University versus DNA. Tied 1-1 here. Central Michigan University back on the blue side after coming off of a defeat there against the re. Ugh. I'm messing up my words here. That game was
That's all
hype.
right, Lumix.
DNA,
Our game was hype.
absolutely insane. Just gas, gas, gas all the way. They take that game off of a massive gold lead. Huge showing from both Niles and King Georgie. Suit Up Bro as well, coming in strong against the Vayne top lane. Are you excited for this final game, Richter?
I am pumped right now. That was spectacular display of just raw aggression coming out from both teams, to be honest, in the early stages of the game. But every single time, DNA managing just to eke out the advantages around the map. I'm not sure about that Vayne top lane of Prime. It didn't seem to have too much of an impact that they wanted to in the side lane.
No, and I think
Had a nice couple of flanks on the opposition, but not managing to secure the kills. The gold lead just wasn't in the advantage.
some of that might have been down to the build. The frozen mallet somewhat made sense, but you delayed your power spikes so much, and it's such an expensive item that you weren't really able to do a whole lot off of that. You had no lifesteal, so there was no way for you to actually sustain in fights, even at the end of the game there.
I feel like they're just rotating bans right now, except they're maintaining this Echo and Yasuo lockout. We did see the Echo in game number 1.
Yeah, Prine an absolute monster on it, so if you can get him on that Vayne again instead, potentially you can pick up another win. Lulu going to be the first pickup, though, on the blue side. That is
That's
one of the priority
interesting.
supports, but Janna has typically been the one favored over Lulu.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. In terms of prioritizing that as your first pick, I guess that doesn't really show too much. That does mean you're definitely going Ardent Sensor, but certainly gives flexibility for the other team to play around it. As you said, probably prompting to pick up Janna if you wanted to in the early stage of the game, or Zyron Khan could come out
Sai
for
is
King
the
Georgie
first
and lane.
pickup. Yeah, and King Georgie has shown that he is able to play lane dominant. Definitely showing up in that previous game with that Caitlyn. Absolutely smashing them in the early game. The only way that MFL was really able to come back was off of a couple team fights that happened to go their way. Sejuani the other pickup as well.
Yeah, they had a moment where they really managed to roll up some kills, and Drew managing to just secure that for MFL. MFL getting a massive back off that with that rip out, managing to secure the 2 towers in the top lane. But that was the only towers they secured all game, as the onslaught from DNA really was relentless. Tristana going to get picked up for MFL now.
I'm actually glad they go for the Sejuani as well for Khan jungle rather than opting for that Jarvan, as he looked like a completely different jungler in that game. He was proactive around the map, he was completing ganks, getting his lanes ahead, and he was actually having an impact in the game rather than being 4 levels down compared to the other jungler.
So Izmir probably will be blind picking this Corki now. This is, I mean, an interesting team for CMU, as they really aren't showing a lot of CC, engage, or anything like that. So this will all have to come from the last picking jungler and top lane coming out for that. So we are going to see that Zaya and Rakan, as we do have final bans coming into season.
Yes, you do have that blind pick Corki. This is the first time Zamuda has not been on the Galio this series, though, as it's banned away. So we're going to have to see if he can perform on something other than that, and if he can carry for his team.
Yeah, so I like the Jarvan ban coming out of them. Drew has been spectacular in this game, really trying to support MFL as that combo in the bottom side of the map. Not able to convert on that, but certainly had presence in the early game. Not also going to get banned away, so top lane seems to be the focus here. Gragas again a jungler, so this is targeting out Drew, who has been very predominant in the first 2 games.
One final ban left for the blue
Maybe
side.
like Maokai might get picked up.
That is a potential. Cho'Gath still available as well.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I think I might favour that over the Maokai. Maybe Drew might want to play Cho'Gath jungle or top lane for Prime.
Shen
Oh,
as well
King
is
George.
still an available pick for the top lane, does provide quite a lot of utility for the team with the Stand United. Victor going to be the pickup in the mid lane though to go up against that Corki.
Yeah, we have seen Prine actually play Shen, lost the game, but went 10-2 on that champion. Kind of get secured with the on. That is a heavy CC champion right there. Fantastic pickup for them. They need a little bit more CC though, a little bit more like tanky engage right now. It's gonna be the Nocturne. Certainly engage, potentially not the tank because you can go lethality on that, but this is the playstyle of Drew down to a T. He really likes that pickup. Also going to see the Aatrox maybe. Fiora also
That
available.
is one of Suit Up Bro's most played picks, and he has a pretty significant win rate on it. If he does opt for it into the Ornn, I think he has a favorable matchup there.
Yeah, we mentioned Maokai though.
That will match the tank and engage of Ornn. Give you a bit more of that front line. So these are the team comps now.
Yeah, I kind of like Nocturne on Drew here into Niles' Victor, as Nocturne can literally just try and one-shot. Also, with the stun coming out of that field, you can CC that ability with your own spell shield and then just rip through with the Corki damage as well, managing to just provide that fear lockout as you're unable to move.
You do have more of a front line from DNA, but I think that CMU is definitely playing more towards their strengths that they showed in the first game. You have a tank in the top lane. You do have a damage-oriented mid this time around, but you have, most importantly, the aggressive jungler from Drew that we saw in the first game was able to just repeatedly invade, set kind jungle behind, and just take over the game.
Yeah, you don't think we're going to see any sort of like lane swapping Gigabyte Marines Levi Nocturne mechanics trying to get him to level 6 at 5 minutes into the game? I don't know if you saw that
The
game.
3-minute level 5 Nocturne.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That game was so wonderful
Look,
to watch. I'm so glad Gigabyte Marines are at the professional scene right now. They are fantastic.
If they get Nocturne to level 5 at 3 minutes, I'm turning off the stream. Like, game's over. We're done here. That's a win for CMU in my books.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they traded that off for their top laner. Lane swapping is not ideal as you do get the buffing armor on the top lane tower currently. So not ideal to do that, but certainly was entertaining to watch for Worlds. I really liked Game 2 and the aggression. Also, Drew playing a little bit of a defensive jungler, but playing it very offensively. Like, he was going to lanes a lot. He was trying to keep MFL ahead. He was also poking his head mid lane quite substantially as well. So they are looking to make plays, and Nocturne just needs to power farm. This is kind of more Drew's style, and then look to play aggressive when you get that level 6.
There was one point in time in the previous game where Drew walked bottom lane. He took a gank, and then instead of going back to his jungle, he walked mid, immediately ganked. And when that failed, he just walked immediately to the bottom lane again for a third gank. Just in the span of like a minute and a half, he's just everywhere's on the map trying to get his lanes ahead.
Pressure definitely Lombac. So yeah, I'm really liking watching Drew right now. He is showing really how to get the most out of lanes, and Kind Jungle needs to step up for this game 3. They do have this double tank front line of Maokai and Sejuani. It is going to be difficult for Corki and Tristana to melt that, as they don't have any natural inherent sort of tank shredding, so they're going to have to build fairly concordantly for those two champions. And Victor with that burst potential as well, massive. Xayah being able to self-kite with that Feather Storm as well, potentially able to get out of Drew's engagement. So Victor's probably going to be the priority target for his Nocturne, and Ornn just definitely on the front line just to be able to provide that CC for the team.
Yeah, and I think Central Michigan University, if they want to have a hope of winning this game, is going to have to get off to an early lead. They want to hit those item break points first, because the Sejuani and Maokai are such a massive frontline and hard to get through. Xayah has her self-peel. It's going to be very hard to take a team fight when you have as little crowd control as you do against something like the Rakan, Sejuani, and Maokai, all looking to engage on you, lock you down, and give Victor and Xayah the time to free fire into your team.
Yeah, usually we see Nocturne played with a dive buddy. I wouldn't really note on to be particularly dive buddy-esque. He can certainly be a present in the front line, but he definitely wants to set up fights front to back and can't really dive the back line like Nocturne can. Traditionally, it's played a little bit more with Shen, and now with Galio being able to hear his entrance into the back line, piggybacking onto the Nocturne. So a little bit of disconnected with that. But certainly, if Drew can get a lead and just absolutely destroy Niles in fights, that is sort of what they're looking for lethality out of him.
If he can get some very nice Call of the Forge Gods off, I think it can provide some of that, but not nearly to the same extent. And unless he is fed enough to just one-shot them, there's no real way that he's going to be able to provide enough to his team to compare to that Sejuani in the later stages.
Yeah, I think banning out that Galio was a really good ban. Now, I have paused at 5 seconds as her natural pause has come out anyway, so I don't actually know if I have paused.
Oh, well, I've just gone to the pause, so we'll both wait until we unpause, I guess.
Coming back to this sort of on and Nocturne mechanic here, it will be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, certainly Paranoia can deny vision to enable the setup onto Niles or King Georgie, but so much engaged potential coming out from Suit Up Bow, Kind Jungle, and Lane. Oh, I did not pause, I'm at 8 seconds.
I'll pause at 12.
12, okay, hang on, just give me a moment.
I did not manage to pause, I'll pause at 15. I must not have pressed my key hard enough.
Alright, I'm at 15.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. I do think, though, that this makes it a very nice lane to gank for Prine in that top lane on Ornn. You want to be able to set it up for Drew to just start getting fed off that. Ornn has a lot of crowd control.
Wait, Lobex. Look at this.
Ornn,
this is a cull on Ornn right here.
I am just as confused as you. There's an evade in the bottom side, though.
They are looking to
stack
up onto Empire. That is a really nice ward actually placed. Double ward coming out, and they're not going to be able to secure that. They do know a ward's in there, though, so that is a nice pickup for them, but unable to capitalize on that potential invade. Looking for that game 3 just to secure a lead in the bottom part of the map. That does mean that Drew is looking to equally just perform a little bit of a route around in the top side of the map. Maybe looking to contest the red buff, but I don't think that'll happen, as you already see Kind Jungle on that Sejuani looking to collapse onto that. That's going to be spotted out though, so they'll know the vision path and the walkway that he's looking to go.
Yeah, if Kind Jungle had hugged the wall there, they might have actually been able to get on top of Empfel and secure the kill. But he walks straight towards the triad bush there, and he instantly gets spot out, so Empfel just backs away.
Again, the Lane and King Georgie may be looking to do a little bit of a level 1 kerfuffle here. They do have a really nice level 1, also skidding that deadly plumage, giving that ability of attack speed for that.
Never mind, just going to be clearing the wave.
Yeah, so they'll have priority in this as a little bit of a leash comes out for Drew, looking just to accelerate him through the game.
Prine does have that call in the top lane, so he could be a place to gank as well with that lack of health. Gonna have to come early though, as he does have the ability to purchase in lane with the passive on Ornn.
Yeah, I mean, Maokai's not exactly going to be able to capitalize on that early hit advantage. Maokai not really known for that, also going for that defensive Dorian shield himself rather than maybe the Dorian's ring was another option, but just wants that sustained for himself. Ornn obviously able to use his forge to build items in the lane means that he can be very protective with that cult and just maybe buy that ruby crystal or a Dorian's item.
And it does mean that he will get the stacks on it very early, which will be a pretty significant gold increase for him.
Yeah, has control in the top side right now. Having warded and just pushing forward, just trying to get the advantage where he can.
Yeah, and if you can get that brittle stacked up as Drew comes for a gank as well, it'll be super nice because you have the ability to stack it with the fear and have that fear last for longer.
Yeah, Suit Up Road certainly not tanky yet, does need a few items under his belt to be so, and the Forge comes out already. Not going to get countered out in Ruby Crystal, but in the mid, Izmudas is on the run from Niles. Kind Jungle showing his face, trying to get that early advantage as all the Nocturne wants to do is push the wave. He's just tried to deny that camp as well. Also just running out. Drew available just to use that Bastion Cone back to safety.
Yeah, good trading in the bottom lane as well. Just trying to poke down that Tristana. Zamuda as well, winning trades in the mid lane against Niles. And that's a matchup we're going to have to watch as well. If you can get Niles to back at an improper time, he's not going to have enough gold to get the upgrades he needs for his Hextech core. And if that doesn't happen, he's not actually going to be able to clear the wave at the same speed Zamuda can.
Yeah, you definitely do want that upgraded Death Ray just to clear the wave. Once you hit that power spike, though, it is just fantastic wave clear in the mid lane, but does have a CS lead already. And the aggression out of King Georgie and lane is they're literally just looking to push the wave right now.
So close!
Oh, they were looking for it in the mid, Zamuda just having to back away from that.
Yeah, Zamuda just barely getting away. If he
Having to burn his flesh.
If he hadn't used the Valkyrie at that point, he would have been dead from the lockup. I do like that he flashed before using the Valkyrie, though. If he tried doing that, I think he probably would have ended up dying to Kind Jungle.
Yeah, flash is guaranteed, whereas the Valkyrie a little bit less so, also a little bit of a slower animation. So getting denied that CS is very good right now. Niles getting a substantial lead in this mid lane as he literally just comes back with a null man wall.
Yeah, won't offer a whole lot in terms of wave clear.
Hey, Drew is... I don't know if Drew is maybe looking bottom, but I thought he was going to take Ocean Drake for a second though.
He is on top of the Blast Cone here, so he could try and get behind them as they push up. Both King Georgie and Lane have been pushing the wave early.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he doesn't really want to contest for this Grump right now. Kind Jungle taking that in proximity though would be able to come down for the gank return.
I forgot to mute the chat again. Whoopsies.
So Hexcore is actually finished and Bro gonna have to recall back to lane, probably gonna teleport in as Crystal of the Eons, or Catalyst of the Eons, already finished up for Pride as he just hasn't based yet, still got that TP, a little bit lower mana because of it, as that is one of the downfalls, but already 48 CS off to him as Pride is just farming up a storm in this top lane with that Cull in tow.
At this point anyways, you can just sort of get the free recall as you had the shove off. You pull the teleport out of Suit Up Bro. You can TP back if you feel like it as well. Ornn really doesn't need it after this first recall.
This is going to be the second time Drew's trying to seal away this camp. He will successfully as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a gold advantage for him.
Just vision in the bottom part of the map.
He might actually look to take the red buff as well, as it is coming up pretty soon. Huge vision in the bottom lane though for Central Michigan University, covering so much of the map.
Yeah, Drew actually looking to come topside. Prime charges up with the whole Forge God coming in there. Sudapro has to run away. Flash's Nature Grass not going to do too much as they still are chasing back. Flash forward off from Prime and from Drew as they are looking to secure First Blood. Do so. That is First Blood going over to Drew.
They have to burn so much for it though. Flash on both of them as well as the ultimate out of Prime does push him closer to 6 though, and that First Blood will help him to snowball the game, which is what they need.
But yeah, I mean, that is fantastic. Kind Jungle just able to get that red buff, but bottom lane, King Georgie and Lane just putting so much damage down onto this T1 tower on the bottom side of the map. Just needs a couple of auto attacks. Kind Jungle there as well, forces the jump out of Empire.
They do get the teleport out of Prime as well, which is a pretty significant cooldown now that they could attempt to use. Suit Up Rose will be coming up first.
They are backing up and just giving over this tower. This will be potentially solo gold going over to King Georgie. Also gives them license to go for this Ocean Drake right now.
And that's a 30 CS lead as well. They've been smashing this bottom lane. They're going to get the Ocean Drake on top of this, which will help Maokai so much in this matchup in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, we've really seen King Georgie and lane just put on an absolute display of perfection in the bottom lane, really winning pretty much all 3 laning phases, getting a substantial gold lead. Now coming back for that tower means that we do have a 1100 gold advantage over to King Georgie at this early stage at 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, and he's pretty much the entire gold lead for DNA. As long as they can keep this up, then they should be able to eke out enough of an advantage that the Nocturne won't matter.
Oh, maybe Drew gonna get caught in the back, but King George in lane already onto this top lane. Prime gonna have to be careful now. We're just gonna be able to pick up the wave. They are gonna send Stu up row bottom, but he's literally just got a crystalline bracer. Not too much other stats available to him. So MPL's gonna be able to push this down. Tristan very good at taking towers, but with that early lead, having that extra Berserker squeeze just flat out right means that they can push up. It's Amuna also looking to come top.
The tempo is definitely in favor of DNA with this play, though. They've already got 1 tower. They're going to look to try and take a second now. Ornn can't defend for them forever, as he does not have a significant amount of wave clear with just the Catalyst and Negatron Club.
Paranoia available with the middle lane pushed up. Niles has to play very safe against this. Just going to try and ward it up against it. But Paranoia yet to come out. Usually you're looking to fire that off fairly quickly after you hit level 6. So he's just saving that. He does have the Warhammer, so he has the extra damage available to him right now.
Bottom lane slowly falling as well. The slower this happens, though, the more an advantage that you will get for DNA. The more they can go ahead.
Oh, sorry, well, I mean, I was just going to say that the top tower is a full HP right now, so maybe it's going to get equalized. Prime also very good at wave clearing this.
Kind Jungle's
Is
here,
going to
though.
get lift at 3-man as Core of the Forge God does get popped. 4-man there, teleport actually channeled for its Zamuda. He's available, double knock up onto the back line as King Georgie runs away. Lane just knocks down the quickness as well, just to get away. They're re-engaging onto Prime now as Kind Jungle is on the front line. They're looking to maybe tower dive this.
Prime drops.
They will secure a kill onto that Kind Jungle, also looking to collapse onto that Hex Drinker propped from Itzamuda, runs away. This is going to be towers traded now as they do have the 4-man stack. Bottom lane going to fall as Drew's already propped down there, picking up Suit Up Bro in the process. Paranoia used to great success there.
This is pretty much at the same time, though, so in the end, it's still in favor of DNA. As long as you're trading objectives evenly, that's an advantage for them.
Suit Up Bro actually just teleporting bot, can get feared, but clearing the wave means that he stops that T2 tower going down in the bot lane.
And they're trying to go for mid here. This is definitely the better play. If they can pick this up, it'll open the map entirely for them.
Yeah, Rift Herald also available if they wanted to go back towards that. Izamuda needs backup in this mid lane right now. Prime is the one to answer the call.
Not going to be able to get it quite at this time. They do get a significant amount of damage onto it. The advantage now as well is that Niles can pretty much just instantly clear these waves, so you're not really going to be able to get to the turret that he is sitting in front of. So as long as he's in this mid lane, it'll stay up for DNA.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see pressure around that top lane as King Georgie looking to again force mid. Rift Herald probably going to be the target coming over here for DNA right now. They also have weight priority in bottom.
Yeah, they are setting up in the mid lane as well to try and take this. Clearing a little bit of the vision out around the Rift Herald.
Oh wait. Suit Up Bro is caught out right now. Do you want to pop the basket? He will actually knock him into the red pit right now. Gonna get feared up as well. Suit Up Bro in dire straits as Pride is here for the follow-up as well. Suit Up Bro actually gonna get the kill onto Drew. Flashes over the wall as well. Will he survive? Pride just trying to knock down a missile comes out of Itzamuda as well. Tower not there to defend, but Itzamuda looking just to secure this with his team, but getting the 1v1 kind of works. That is also giving them the potential to take the Rip Herald right now.
I don't understand how he had nearly that amount of damage. He gets the additional damage from putting a sapling in the bush, and I don't think Drew expected that much out of him. Does manage to trade 1-for-1 as well as a summoner. So in the end, that's a huge advantage for them as they get both Rift Herald and the mid tower here. Everything's coming out for DNA.
Yeah, that was a solid play. As you said, Drew wasn't ready for that, and building no defense with that Warrior is an extra serrated duck, just not prepared for the onslaught that Pseudo-Pro was willing to give him. Drew's now going to pick up this red buff that's a little bit delayed, also has his second Paranoia available, maybe looking to go on Niles in the mid lane.
Yeah, that is definitely potential. They do have the team set up around him though. Package available as well.
Drew takes so much damage on the early engagement. Niles managing to burst that down. Instamuta on the back line, but Drew instantly falls. Paranoia into that. Instamuta has to run away there. Niles getting so much damage onto Kissaru as well means that he has to back away. Pseudo-Pro looking to maybe force this. He doesn't have his ultimate available to him. Nation's Class not, but they re-engage with the knockup right now. Lane having to back away from that. He does successfully. King George has red buff as well, which means that the Fox are on Kissaru, also in the Dragon Pit. He's gonna get spotted out though. He knows he's not long for this world. Dragon also giving him the old 1-2, and he will fall Cloud Drake going over to DNA. Successful fight for them.
Yeah, and you might have Paranoia available for Drew, but that doesn't mean you need to take it in once you've activated it. Activates it when he's already at less than a third health and gets one shot as soon as he comes in. Knocked up by Lane. After that, the fight's just completely over for them. Huge damage onto Zamuda, and they follow it up with another kill onto Kisoru and get the dragon.
I think for those team fights, you really need Prime to be in the front line. Then you need to prop Paranoia just to disrupt what is going on and reset the fight with your two carries of Zamuda and Mfail, and then look to engage at the very last second with Paranoia if you have the window to do so. Charging into the enemy team 3v1 is not really what you want to be doing on this champion.
And Pseudo-Pro has gotten the Righteous Glory now, so he is starting to get the important item spikes for a Maokai top lane. Will be able to engage hardcore for his team, and that's what you want with the Rakan and Sejuani. If you can just get on top of the enemy carries, it should be easy to win fights for them.
Yeah, definitely so. Prime just looking to secure the farm up in the top lane. Doesn't have a tower to back onto though.
He has completed his call now though.
Yeah, he does. He's also looking to go for Ninja Tabai, but I think Pseudo-Pro fancies this. I mean, it is a little bit of a wet noodle fight right now, but they are just butting heads consistently in this top lane, trading mana bars, but Abyssal Mask just means that the mana is going to be there for Prime just to sustain the fights a little bit better.
Yeah, the one real advantage Prime has in the fight as well is that he does get a massive amount of maximum health damage against the Maokai. So as long as the fight continues, he can deal more damage than the Maokai will be able to heal. What about Kind Jungle?
Prime looking to just secure the vision. King Jungle just trying to get the smack on it, but now it's Zamuda trying to unload the damage with the Corki. Hasn't really farmed very well in the early stage of the game as the Triforce hasn't been completed. Pseudo-Pro looks to go aggressive again as Nature the Grass will come forward. All going to fall on the backside of that. Wildgrove prompting the engagement, but they're coming through. Pseudo-Pro still on full health as the engagement goes successfully for DNA, picking up a triple kill over to King Georgie in that engagement.
Yeah, and that was super huge for them. Drew does manage to get onto the backline of Khan Jungle and kill him as he was super low, but King Georgie just free firing for most of that fight. First picks up the kill onto Prime and then manages to pick up another two as he just walks through the fight with Pseudo-Pro tanking everything. This puts them definitely in the driver's seat now at 4-0 and 2 for King Georgie.
Yeah, I mean, the Maokai was absolutely massive. Pseudo-Pro doing what he needed to do, popping that White Jasguri, staying in the front line, absorbing the damage for his team, also managing to just use that sap magic just to heal up as much as possible. No heal reduction of a Executioner's Cooling or Morello Nomicon finished as the mid laner will not be securing that. Also, he has not farmed very well in Zamuda for this stage at the game. 116 for him compared to Niles' 1-8 6 now as he insta-clears the wave in the mid. He is farming up a Storm right now, really has a successful lead against Isamuda.
Yeah, 10 CS per minute for Niles, but Zamuda, this is his first game not on Galio and showing some weakness here. I'm not actually sure what he's doing with his build either, as he has that second longsword. Does build the Phage, so he must have sold one of them.
Yeah, Cole is still available for Pride. I'm surprised that hasn't been dropped for a pink ward as he's unable to provide that for his team.
Well,
He is looking for a Sunfire Cape.
That's the massive thing as well. Look at the map. Look at how many wards DNA has across the map, and they've done this throughout the series. They have this super great vision control on both sides of the map currently where they can push up and start taking the objectives. There's almost no vision on the map for CMU.
Yeah, 6k gold lead now for DNA as they are really powering forward, as you said, with the visions of Spectre's Cow coming out.
Holy
for
crap.
Pine Jungle as well. Looking for a Lich Bane coming out of Niles as well, potentially. They are maybe looking to dive this tower, but Kind Jungle just tanking up, trying to provide that, but massive engagement over from Zamuda, proccing that Hex Trigger very rapidly into the fight, but re-engagement coming out or gets them. Triple knockup, gonna secure the kill. Empire gonna be the recipient of that. Drew now comes forward onto Kind Jungle, gonna push forward. Massive crits coming out of Empire now as he does secure the kill on the backline of that. Kisaru trying to just disengage, has to pop wild growth himself. Drew trying to re-engage the fight. There just is no damage left on the side of DNA as they are absolutely rooted. Isamuda comes back into this engagement. This was a successful start prompted by Isamuda. They are looking to turn maybe for Baron right now. I mean, Prime has a little bit of health. They can look to take this up. No smite available.
They don't have a ton of damage though is the thing. They're not going to be able to rush this very quickly. And it isn't very long on the death timers. I'm not sure if they'll be able to take it before they're back. Massive fight from them though is Drew.
TP's coming out. They are going to have to back off this objective, I think. Yeah, they will. Suit Up Bro is pretty big now, having finished that cargo stone plate. And they will look to back right now. Drew played that fight a lot better. He waited for the cooldowns to be over, forced the flash out of King Georgie, and that's really where they got the advantage, the fact that Drew was able to be impactful in that fight.
Well, it was a dream fight from them, as they're actually on top of the Baron now, probably going to take this. They managed to get on top of Niles and blow him up before the fight even really starts. Then they get the massive call of the Forge God. Zamuda.
I don't think Isamuda can really contest this, but Drew's trying to have a go. Not going to get secured, going to get stunned up as well. He's going to fall very rapidly, going to go over to Niles there. That means the King Georgie also forcing the Feather Storm. This is once tanking damage for Empire. Going to force that jump away. Prime rooted up as well. Kind Jungle's on that. Suit Up Bro also looking to secure the kill on to Isamuda. Gonna fall. That is a massive fight over to DNA.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to get the mid inhib off of this most likely, if not more. They have the Baron buff. And as I just praised CMU for a fantastic fight, they go and throw it away by ruining their tempo and going for that Baron.
Yeah, now they have the objectives. They're charging up the mid lane. They've got the Baron buff on them as well. This surely will be taken as 2 are still dead for CMU. Oh, Prime is going on to that backline there. Drew trying to solo out onto King Georgie, not going to be successful. Double kill coming over here for DNA.
King Georgie is still quite low, so they might actually just end up going for the top inhib instead. MFL did manage to get some nice kills in the 2 fights previously.
They just don't have the damage right now as DNA are looking for the sweep here. 2 games on the trot maybe for them. Prime maybe looking for a little bit of engagement, but they're just looking to back them out. Inhibitor taken mid and top. This is a fantastic place for DNA to be.
Yeah, even with those kills that MFL had picked up, he's currently sitting on 7,500 gold total compared to the 11,000 of King Georgie. So far ahead at 7, 1, and 4. Almost 3 items completed to the 2.5 of MFL.
Exactly. I mean, the crit items just aren't there right now for MFL to really do the damage, as we almost got a...
We still don't even have a full Troy Force on Zamuda. We're 23 minutes into the game.
These spikes just aren't there. 23 minutes in, 140 farm, up to the 212 out of Niles. farming up an absolute storm right now, has Lich Bait, so this is aggression coming out of Niles right now. He's really looking to burst people out, also going for third item death cap coming out of him. So they are really looking to Zerg's advantage. Not a lot of MR picked up apart from the Abyssal Mask and Merc Treads coming out of Pride. Glass Cannon for Drew. Not a lot of defense on the rest of the team as we do have that uncensored finish for Kissaru.
And this is the final inhib that they're going to be looking for in the bottom lane here. They still have a little bit of the Baron buff left. They might be able to take it with it. Drew sitting on the side. They do have the package to try and split up the fight or delay this.
Yeah, Baron buff going to fall off in about 20 seconds. Not really enough for another wave here. But the damage has been done. I mean, 2 inhibs down. 24 minutes into the game, they can just look to usher the waves in. Sudat Bros already in the mid lane trying to do that, and they are stacking on the bottom side of the map. Also free Cloud Drake, but Kind Jungle says no to that. I'm going to join up with my team. Let's try and win now. We don't need that Drake.
Package.
Izamuda going into the pack lane, package forward, but just going to get split up. Doesn't have the damage to secure that. Massive knockup coming through. Pride trying to look to engage, but the fight is already over. Tank is too late to the party, and DNA are just going to charge through now. Have a couple of minions left just to tank this tower forward, and they've got the minions coming into the base. That'll be the game going over to DNA as a sweep comes through. The surrender even coming out for CMU as just the aggression coming out of DNA right now. Absolutely splendiferous. 15k gold lead, spectacular game. Lombax, that was amazing.
Yeah, DNA really putting on a clinic here on how to close out the game. They got such a massive lead there for the Xayah and Niles as well on that Victor. So much CS. He had 10 CS per minute. Absolutely massive from him, and manages to hit these item spikes and start taking over the game. Zamuda, his counterpart, only just got Triforce. There's no real way that he's actually able to fight him, so they just repeatedly take these team fights around objectives and snowball the game out of control.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Niles finding an absolute storm in that game. Flame horizoning his opponent of Isamuda. Really struggling to find purchase in that. Drew not overly successful on the Nocturne, only really had 2 good paranoias in all of the game there, as he was shut down consistently. 6 deaths over to him as he was just overreaching for those kills.
Yeah, some great engages out of lane as well, really showing his mastery over Khan, helping in that lane dominance for King Georgie. 1-0 and 17 on him, involved in so many of his team's kills.
Yeah, kill participation certainly high. Lane and King Georgie shown time and again that they have the advantage in the bottom lane. They were very aggressive in the laning phase, getting these advantages, shutting down the Cogmore in game number 2, and again in this game just having that gold lead and pushing it forward, getting the early towers and roaming around the map.
A very nice game out of them. That will do it for us tonight, though. DNA taking that series 2-1, going the distance, showing that they do deserve to be at the top.
Yeah, next week we do have Purdue University Gold versus Purdue University Black. That'll be the sister teams matching up head to head. We are looking forward to this game. I'm sure there is rivalry between these 2 squads. So looking forward to that. That'll be coming to you live on next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you very much for watching.